Welcome to the writings of Patrick S. Smith. Hello, all. Welcome to season 2 of these video logs. Want to thank everybody who suffered through the first season, and welcome to season 2. You make my writing worthwhile, more so than it is than just doing it for myself. So thank y'all. To start with is the old step. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and skip to let Kathy talk about her book this week, or books, I should say, since she's back for another one.
Okay. Well, I read the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. She also goes by Christina Owens, C.M. Owens, and I think one other, but she's got multiple different ones depending on the genre that she writes in. The Mindfuck series is a 5-book series, and it is a stabby romance thriller.
Stabby romance.
Stabby romance. Lana is a victim from a previous incident that happened in her life. I'm not going to go into details. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. And she meets her love interest, who happens to be an FBI agent. And the books go about how Lana gets her revenge and exposes things that happened in the town that she grew up in. I will tell you, the books end, all of them except for the final one, ends on cliffhangers, which is a good and bad thing. I enjoyed it, but it made me like, I gotta go get the other book out now. It does, at the end of book 5, it does end on a HEA, or happily ever after, but it's a little different happily ever after. But it does work out in the end, but it's very thrilling and very intense on how we get there. Please check triggers, because there is some talk of different things in there. Like I said, I really don't want to say too much because it will give things away. One very interesting thing about these 5 books is S.T. Abbey puts at the beginning of each chapter some kind of saying from different people in history in the world, like Albert Einstein, Confucius, William Shakespeare. An example is, I love humanity, but I hate humans. And that was by Albert Einstein. Another one by Albert Einstein was, the only reason for time is that everything doesn't happen at once. And what's interesting is you could see how each of these different sayings go along with the chapter. Another one was by Confucius that says, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Confucius also said, to see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. Some by William Shakespeare was, better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. Suspicion always haunts the guilty mind. And there are others in there. There's some by Voltaire, different things like that. So it was an excellent, I would definitely give it 5 stars, an excellent series. If you like books that are series, it is complete. And Christina Owens has multiple different books and book series that she has out. She's got, her website is CM Owens, and that's plural, cbooks.com. It gives all the list of the books by all of her pen names. The C.M. Owens, things like that. She does have a reverse harem series, and let me see if I can find that one. It's called it's the Dark Side series, and the first book in that one is For Psychos. Those were done under Christine Cunnings. Another one is All the Pretty Monster series. And then she does have some standalones in there, but if you look on her website, she has a lot of different books and series she does. Unfortunately, she will not be having any more come out because she passed away in 2021 from a horrible car accident. So give her family some love by reading her books and rating them, letting people know that she was loved and thoroughly enjoyed reading the books. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, and I will drop the links or the link to her website in the description. Now on to the status report of where things are at. Start with, I am still waiting on the publication date of the Stafford Building in Eldritch Science. But as soon as I get that, I'll make the announcement, so you can catch that in my newsletter. Also started the third take, or reviewing the third take of To Draw a Soul, You Will Give Your Soul. The audio there sounds a little bit better, but I sometimes read faster or try to read too fast, so it gets jumbled up. So it's going to be some work done, and there will probably end up being a fourth take, as I've mentioned before. On actual writing, Amber's Chapter 2 first draft is nearing completion. Hopefully after I had drudged through that and get through Chapter 3, things will pick up because the action picks up, and I will probably be able to write a lot more about it. Naming Cirrus, I started the second round of the edits and revisions on that. It's still going to need a lot of work already. I've only gotten through the first section, and that's, a lot of work. And Brides of War, I've just about completed the first section of it, and going to be able to really dive into section 2 soon. May have to go back and adjust the storyboard a little bit on that one, but I gave away a sample and got some good some good reactions about how I'd start that one off. So
now, is the Brides of War, is that with a new book you're doing?
That is another Sears story.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Still working on the blog, trying to get it restructured for all these series, and I'm going to do a quick run through all of the series I'm working on, or storylines, I should say, collections, however you want to phrase it. Start with The World of Olith. As you can see, I've got a lot on the plate there. I mean, from Amber to revising and editing, naming the Cirrus, birthday, and then others I've started and working on, and just, and some that I've started that I've paused, just because I not feeling the vibe right on it, so moved on. And some of these are just working titles. That's the ones with the asterisks. Some of them have a set or fairly set title, and those are the pluses. Next up is Love of Death, which I've only got 2 in the works right now, which should make Kathy happy. I've got
I like death.
Yes, I know. One, I'm actually drafting Death's Gift, and the second one is A Deal with Death. So there's that. Next one is my warped fantasy slash comic book, or what should be a comic book, Twisted Trope. Nothing there, though I do got scenes and gags that I want to put in there. And yes, I've made an appearance last week, or on the last video there. Alexandrians, I've got 3 in the works. One is to finish a thread of a story I started. You get the intro to it. Now I just got to write the remaining 2 portions of it. And storyboarding the next case for the Alexandrians. And I'll talk about them more in another video. And then is Cafe Rose, which is still very much developmental right now. Trying to create characters, a little backstory for the restaurant before I start really diving into the stories of the patrons, which I think you might actually enjoy. You might actually even enjoy trying to write a story on it because you like to people watch.
I do like to people watch.
And see their, what type of stories you can come up with for them.
All you have to do is send me the PDF or whatever, or print it off so I can read it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll get you. I mean, I'm working on getting the staff of the cafe first, and then let you go from there. That way, you've got a couple characters to work with.
Okay.
But like I say, since you like to people watch, you like to see what you come up with. Even if you just get it storyboarded out and we work together to draft it, well, be fun.
Yeah.
Be interesting. So, make a shout out. Tell her to at least try as much as she reads. I'm interested to see what she can come up with. As a bonus. And I'll do another one somewhere down the road just so you can watch her reactions, because she's walked in on me a couple times when I've been in the editing process and reading and recording, and I'll make a snide comment about something, and she's walked in and snickered at me and whatnot. So I'm gonna have to. First one just be me raw, but I think the next one will be a reaction video of her watching me do this. And get a good and see how much abuse I take from her on it. Naming the Seers, version 5, dated 10 September. Setup. Ona, stop pushing dirt back in the hole, Sarah said. The growl in her voice indicated irritation with her youngest sister. Cinderella let her hoe rest on the hardened ground as she looked at her daughters. She removed her hat and wiped her forehead from the... Oh, good grief, I cannot talk. Cinderella let her hoe rest on the hardened ground as she looked at her daughters. She removed her hat and wiped her forehead with the back of her hand. Though it wasn't even noon yet, sweat and earth matted her red hair. The vision that Cinderella had about these lands 6 months ago was still fresh in her mind. A drought lasting 4 years and bringing with it starvation. There should be Ikana. After seeing the devastation, Cinderella had brought her 3 daughters over 500 miles to try to do something about it. Ew, that line could be better. When they first arrived, that should be they, not the. A suspicion that only grew when Cinderella tried to warn the people of the coming drought. Most of the people of Oxton she encountered cast a leery eye on her. when Cinderella started digging a pond in an unused field near the river Oxton. Oxton's main source of water. Okay, clarify that a little bit. Yeah. When Cinderella started digging in a pond in an unused field near the river Oxton, the town of Oxton's Oxbow. Oxbon's the river. Oh. In response to her mother's admonishment, the 3-year-old Ona plopped down on the ground and began to whine. I want tea. You may have some later if you help Sour get the dirt out of the pond. On the prospect of on hearing the prospect of having some tea, Ona slid down to the side of the pond. When she reached the bottom, which was only a foot below the surrounding ground, she grabbed handfuls of dirt and started throwing them in random directions. Several of the clods hit Sour. Make the correction. That was a clever idea, Sour. See, you don't always have to be so irate with your sister. Cinderella smiled at her. I just thought giving her a target would help us. Speaking of helping us, where is Gosling? Checking on the traps like I asked her to. Now we need to get back to work. Cinderella and Sour worked until the sun was high above them. They stopped periodically to keep an eye on Ona as she threw more dirt at the stick. That should be stopped. They stopped periodically to keep an eye on Ona as she threw more dirt at the stick. Mom, are you sure the people will help? It's been 3 months and no one has even checked on us, Sour said. Opening her eyes, Cinderella smiled. They will. I've seen it. Unfortunately, there are 1,000 possibilities that will lead them to helping them. Unfortunately, there are 1,000 possibilities that will lead them to helping themselves, and we cannot influence any of those paths. They have to come to us. We just have to wait. Sour groaned as she stretched out on the ground. Okay, earlier I had an info dump, bit of an info dump. Well, where was it? Somewhere I mentioned. I thought I mentioned it being 3 months already. They've been there for 3 months. Maybe not. Okay. Picking back up. Sour grown. Cinderella and her family worked in. Okay, I think I'm doing it again. Cinderella and her daughters for family. Find a better way. Find a better way. Cinderella and her family worked until the sun had started. So that's your bonus there. And finally, October 7th and 8th is Amazon Prime Days, where they're running some sort of sale. Was it 40% off or something like that?
Depends on what you get. It depends on the item.
So if you haven't picked up a copy of Tales of the Seeress or The Chaos of Me, that sounds like a good time to order a copy. So that's it for episode 1 of season 2. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Got a couple laughs. And we'll see you later.
And just
bye. Sorry.
I was gonna say what my next series was.
Sorry.
The next set of books, if you guys are interested, let us know. Of me getting a little bit of a review for Dark River Days by Grace McGinty. It is also a series. It is a reverse harem series. Just let me know if you're interested in hearing what I have to say about it. So far, it's been very good. I've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I hope this hasn't been too difficult to watch. And we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank y'all. And y'all take care. Bye. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can find more of my books on Amazon.com. Also, you can find more of my stories and poems at patricssmithauthor.wordpress.com. The links are in the description. Thank you.